tell you.
We are live here in front of the MX-420. I've been hearing in my ear for the last 5 minutes. We're coming to you shortly, Paul. We're coming to you shortly. Tony loves the story, and so do we. And that really was, or is, a fantastic story. So I'm at the MX-420. If you've got any comments about, or any questions about the technologies that we're looking at, please put them in the social channel that you're watching on. Fernando, introduce yourself.
Certainly, my name is Fernando Garcia, and I'm a regional sales manager for Matsuura, USA.
We've met before.
Yes.
You like MTD, don't you?
I really do. MTD brings something different to our audience, and I think what's the most important part of it is the fact that it's a customer's perspective. I think so often we listen to a salesman or a sales representative or company representative speak. It really gives the customer a voice and allows them to really explain why they made the decision that they made.
Good. This stream's not about us, it's about you, but thank you anyway. Let's talk about the MX-420. Now, this is a fairly new model, isn't it, to the Matsuura range. Why have they introduced it?
Well, they introduced it because, as we had before, was the MX-330 PC10, and with the MX-330 PC10 platform, it's probably our second best-selling platform worldwide. But what we heard back from customers was we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more. And so what we did was we changed the volumetrics of the machine itself, and we allow the machine to, this was the previous work envelope before for the MX-330, and now we're able to achieve this volumetric part dimensions on here, which is a 55% increase volumetrically over the MX-330 PC10.
Okay, now the 330 has been so popular. Let's go and have a look in the machine as well, because there will be people that will be tuning into this that may, if you step this side, Fernando, that may not have seen the MX-420 before and in fact know what it actually is. So can you explain what's happening in there?
Oh, absolutely. The MX-420 is Matsuura's latest addition to the 5-axis platform. So it's a fully articulable 5-axis platform, and it comes married to a PC10, so you have the ability to run lights out. That's really what we're trying to achieve with the customer in looking at the fact that difficult to hire people, difficult to find people, so that's why we added that.
What are the challenges people face when it comes to 5-axis machining and unmanned running, and how do you solve them with this particular model?
Well, it is interesting because we do look at, sometimes we go and look at the mechanics of the machine and we understand the mechanics, and it's basically an articulating trunnion. But where the other challenges come from is the 30 years of automated manufacturing experience that Matsuura brings. There's a lot of other parts to it, right? There's coolant management, ship evacuation management, so many of those things. So it's not merely just a platform that was transitioned into automation. It's a platform that was designed with automation in mind, and therefore all the other features or the side components all work in conjunction to allow really someone to get lights out manufacturing.
And I always think that it's kind of right place, right time, isn't it, for this technology for you? Because I think that so many manufacturers are looking at their next steps. They're looking at how they can, reduce intervening in the manufacturing process, keep the machine running overnight. So you kind of introduced this, and not just this, the 330 and the 520 at the right time, didn't you?
We really did, and again, it's also about, it's not about replacing any particular person that works for your company. It's about allowing that person to do multiple things within your organization, but you need a foundation that has the stability, has the thermal capacity to maintain the accuracies that you're looking for over a longer period of time, and therefore gives you the confidence to walk away from the machine for a period of time.
If you've got any questions about unmanned running and some of those challenges that you might think you may face, then Fernando can obviously answer those. So put the comments or the questions on whichever page you're watching this on. Let's move this way again, because I want to just talk about what's evident here. In fact, I'll step this side so the camera can get in. What's evident here is there's lots of different components on this pallet system, isn't there? So what we're not seeing is a machine geared up, in this instance, for millions or thousands of the same parts, are we?
Really, it is. It allows you to be able to have a mix and match. Let's say you have a job that you know is a repeat job, but you don't want to break down the job. So this allows you to position that in one of the 10 pallets that's on there. And when an order comes in, you can fulfill that order in a quickly process. But it simply also allows you the ability to interchange the pallets and move work holding around from machine to machine.
And I've got to say, this is a really good way, the camera's looking at this now, of describing the capacity, isn't it? There's no better way than actually just illustrating it with what you've got there.
It really is. You know, it's hard when you talk about inches, right? And you're talking about volumetric size of a particular part. This way, you're really able to explain to a customer the real difference between the platforms, and it really does help.
People might say, and I know we're going to look at a part in a minute, but
yeah.
You know, I can't afford one of those. That's out of my league. You know, it's not for me. It's for those big blue chip businesses. It's not the case, is it?
No, it really isn't. As a matter of fact, the majority of our customers are medium-sized shops, small to medium-sized shops, but they're looking in the right direction. They understand that in order for them to compete moving forward, that's what they need to do. They need to make this transition into automation. And again, without that basic platform that is stable, that's where the problems come in, right? You think you've got automation, but then you develop problems as you're going through it. That's really what Matsuura brings to the table.
Yeah. Now, if you've got any questions on the MX-420, then get them to us now, and Fernando will answer them. Let's have a look at this part. Quite nice. Can you explain what's happening?
It's quite a unique part. It is a combination of additive and subtractive. It's not on the same platform. This was printed by an EOS system, but yet once the part was printed, and this is Inconel 718, once the part was printed, the part was then put into an MX-330, where it was machined to the pieces that you see here, and you can see some of the cutaways, the different features, and the internal workings of the turbo itself. But it's just a really good example of what the future is, right? It's not all just subtractive. It is additive and subtractive and trying to work together on those platforms.
Yeah, I mean, what did the customer buy? So they actually bought an MX-330, did they, as a result of this?
Correct. They bought an MX-330 with the idea of tying it into their EOS system.
Okay, there is other MXs within the range. Could you maybe just, again, for our audience that may have known, describe how extensive this product portfolio is?
Yeah, we built the platform so that it marries into other platforms as well, too. So we have an MX-330, we have an MX-520, and we have an MX-850. And really, they're tied to one of our MAM systems. So the MX-330, they share pallet configuration with the 35V, with the MAM 35V. The 520 shares a platform with the 52, which you just did an interview on moments ago. And so being able to have not a standalone machine, or possibly even a standalone machine, do your prototyping on that machine and then take the pallet and transfer the entire job onto another platform for production runs.
The control system that you have here, how easy and how clever is it to help you with unmanned running? How easy to program, and if there's an issue halfway through the night and one particular pallet can't run anymore, will it just go skip to the next one? What have you put in place in that area? Absolutely,
there are systems in place, and first off, Matsuura provides all of the integration. So the integration portion, or the pallet management system, is also partly supported by Matsuura. So it's not a third-party software company that we're working with. And there are things in place. For example, if you break a tool and you're using tool life management, you break a tool, the pallet, it knows the next job coming in, it does a tool check. If you don't have enough tools, instead of stopping, right, it's 10:30 and you're in bed and it stops, it simply moves to the next pallet. And so it will finish the jobs that it can based upon the information that the control is providing back to the pallet system.
Okay, we're going to go over to Tony very shortly, who's going to be looking at the MAM. Before we do that, I just want to ask you, IMTS, you enjoy it?
Oh, 100%. This is 30 years for me. And so I don't mean to date myself too much, but very excited to be back. And it's good to return to normal. It's really good.
Good stuff. Okay, there you have it. That's the MX-420. Contact Matsuura if you've got more details on that machine. I'm now going to pass you over to Tony, who is with Tyler Bond, and they're talking about a MAM product, amongst other things.